I know a lot of terrible people who have wonderful jobs and just ignorant, ridiculous, destructive people who make a ton of money. Like, I mean, process it like this. Drug dealers make more money than damn near all of us. And drug dealers are about the dirtiest scumbags on the planet, right? So why in the world would you define yourself or anybody else based on how much money they make when we know that sometimes you have big money because you've been doing the devil's work at an extraordinary level? Does that make sense? Let me know if you get what I'm saying. I know I'm talking. I'm kind of jumping right into it, but really, I would encourage you to. So there's probably a couple points here that just kind of came through our mind as I was sitting there with my daughter when we were taking the homecoming pictures. Was one, um, I don't think you should be defined by what you do. You're more than your job. And then number two, never ever let somebody make you think that a person is successful just because they have lots of money. I think that is just a ridiculous line of thinking. America is a country that has more money than every other country on earth, and a lot of people would say our country is not successful. If you look at America right now, America's falling apart. There's division everywhere. Democrats and Republicans hate each other. The children are not getting educated. You're all getting sick and fat. You're getting fat and you're dying from being so fat. And ultimately, we're dealing with the consequences of having a government that cares more about, a government that cares more about money and Israel than about its own people, right? And it's on its way to bankruptcy. So how can you say America is successful? I think money matters. Money's one measure of success, but money can't be the only measure. So as I was sitting there talking to these dads, these very hardworking dads, very nice guys. One guy we talked about, the challenge of cheering for the Chicago Bears. I go between the Bears and the Cowboys because I have jurisdiction with both teams. I grew up as a Cowboys fan and I live near Chicago. Um, and also we were talking about just things that we had in common as fathers, right? I didn't really care much. I don't really talk about race when I'm talking to people who are not black, unless they have something they want to share with me. Then I just listen to perspectives, right? I don't really. I probably scare them if I told them everything I do and what I believe, and then I don't even care enough to. My goal is not to convince white people to believe anything that I say. That's not my job. But I was also thinking about this. I was thinking about how these men were hardworking guys and really dedicated to their families, and I respected them for that. And the one that was a police officer, he seemed like a nice guy. I respect cops. I know a lot of people, think all cops are evil. My dad was a cop. Nobody, you won't really understand it until you know what it's like to know that your father goes to work every day and he might die that day, right?